Oh, well, you're just thinking of things that would make you believe, coming up with things. Well, if this happened, I guess I'd believe.
Well, it would have to happen like on a regular basis, and I'd have to like have a lot of it would have to become part of my normal life for these supernatural things to happen. Otherwise, I'm not going to believe it. And I don't believe in unicorns because I've never seen one anywhere,
Well,
that I could verify.
but
So
you still haven't been able to come to terms with logic and mathematics, right? You tried to
what?
well, I'm saying
I
as far as like the immaterial existence of these things, these invariant.
there is no immaterial existence of logic and mathematics. I've been through
Right.
all this with you.
Yeah, right.
It's
You
all
think
based on the universe, right? On physicality.
you think
Logic and math is based on physicality.
what physical thing is math based on?
You can't put both your hands in the same place at the same time, right?
What physical
Okay,
things?
clap your hands. Clap your hands. Now put them together. Can you replace one hand with the other? Can you push one hand into the other? Okay, that's where logic starts. And I don't want to get into this big metaphysical discussion. Let's just talk about this proof in God.
How are you going to talk about metaphysics as a physicalist? How are you going to account for something?
I do. I don't have to.
I'm saying when you try to account for it or justify it.
Well, all I have to talk about is what's happening right here, right now, to myself.
It doesn't justify the use and utility of metaphysics.
What do I need?
Why do you keep interrupting?
Go ahead.
You saying that you're using metaphysics doesn't justify or give an account of how you can do that from a physicalist philosophy.
Why am I obligated to justify it?
Well, if you don't justify things and you're talking about people to God, they say God just is, and that's the defeater.
What?
When you don't have to justify things and you're talking to a believer, they say God just is.
Okay. But that's you kind of have to
for your style of argumentation where you're saying I don't need to justify things. When we trace back presuppositions and assumptions that we're bringing to the table, and you're asked, how do you justify that? And you say, I don't have to. Then guess what? The believer doesn't have to justify God. That's it.
Okay. You don't see the difference? Okay.
You can try to categorize things differently.
Shut up for a minute.
Excuse me. When a non-believer says, show me evidence that there's a God, you're showing the non-believer. We're not asking you to justify your belief. We're asking you to show us evidence or some reason.
You're asking for a justification of some sort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So justify.
Well, when I ask you to justify,
if you say I don't have to,
you say I don't have to.
Part our ways because you can't convince me that there's a God.
No, you guys are missing the point here. When we're going into things that we're presupposing and assuming into the conversation, when a physicalist is talking about metaphysical ideas, someone can say, how are you justifying this? Give an account of how you have metaphysics in physicalism.
Okay, let's back up. Okay. Justification for physicalism and for naturalism, right? I can justify any single object in the world by touching it, holding it up, showing it to you. That justifies it. I don't need any metaphysical justification. It's an experiential justification.
Well, there's metaphysics involved in that whole process.
To you there is, but to me, metaphysics is kind of like bullshit. A lot of bullshit in metaphysics. You keep moving the goalposts with metaphysics, and I'm telling you that hang on a second, when you got out of bed this morning, you assumed naturalism and regularity of the universe, logic, all of that stuff, and you've lived your entire day. I don't know how long you've been up, but your entire day you have done nothing but naturalism, and so I don't need to justify it any more than pointing out that you're a naturalist too.
Is that it?
There you go.
That's it. You know what happened in my life today, and you experienced that, so that you can justify saying something like that.
I have 99.99% confidence that I know that you lived entirely by naturalism today.
Now you're backtracking, right? You're lowering the percentage.
What's that?
You're lowering the percentage because it's a backtrack. If you're a physicalist and everything is based on sense, data, observation, experience, you don't have that information about what I did today. So you got to kick that out.
I know what you did today. You did
Now you're
natural
you're
things.
just being
You ate,
absurd.
drank water. You probably had a cup of coffee. You're breathing. You're
You're
a human
assuming
being functioning.
you're
I don't have to
assuming what I
assume
did
anything.
because
I
you're
have
human and I'm a human, right? You're
I
making an
have near
assumption.
100% confidence that you had done nothing supernatural today.
And now
Dude,
you
if you have, tell me about it. Tell me what you've done that's supernatural today.
well, you're talking about something else now. I'm saying if you come from a position that assumes sense data, observation, and experience, telling someone what they did today without having those things intact is erroneous. It's simple.
I don't assume sense data. I don't like sense data. That isn't how human beings live. I assume the rationality has been provided to me by nature. It is obvious.
How did nature
It's
do that?
there. It's completely obvious.
How did nature provide?
Why do I need to know how? If it
Because
has?
you're making the claim in the positive.
Okay, you're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're living.
Point
your
out what
life
I'm doing is not helping your case.
I'm living my life naturally. Scott's living his life.
You're not
Hey,
answering the questions.
give me some justification for this God. Tell me why I should
You're
believe
dancing all around, Mike.
why should I believe there's a God? Why should I believe this? Tell me. Why do you believe it? Why do you believe there's a God?
I argue that God is a starting point for all things, the precondition necessary.
Okay, you just blurted that out. That means nothing. Give me some reason to believe in this God. Why would I believe in it? Give me a reason to believe.
Well, I would with a materialist or a physicalist, I would start with pointing out that they're utilizing metaphysical ideas and they're relying on ethics in their worldview.
No, you're blathering about metaphysics again, and you probably don't even know what it is. Let me put it
this way: do you understand basic philosophy as metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, or do you subscribe to something else?
I pretty much understand what's done with metaphysics and ethics and all of that. I don't. I have my own. I have my own. What?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have my own sort of idiosyncratic views of metaphysics and philosophy. And metaphysics to me is just physics. That's all metaphysics.
Metaphysics is just physics. Okay, physics. So it's just a what the hell does that mean? It's just physics.
It is the physics of basically how the universe got here, the greater idea, what the dimensionality of the universe is, particle physics, fields. That's metaphysics to me.
You're making up your own.
The metaphysics you're talking about, I call junior high school metaphysics, or naive metaphysics, where you start to think of, oh, I got to figure out what caused all this stuff, and I got to justify things. You got to come up with a story that sounds good. And what do you say? Oh, God is the first cause because there has to be a first cause. This is all bullshit. This is naive metaphysics.
I agree that what you're saying is
junior high.
I agree.
Junior high bullshit.
What you're saying is bullshit. Metaphysics gets into transcendental categories, right? Causality, meaning, value, purpose, things that you assume in your worldview that you can't account for or justify. That's why I'm continually asking you to account or justify for these things, because I know where the absence is, the void in your worldview is. You're trying to say everything is physical. You're even going to the point where saying metaphysics is physics, which is comedy.
What is transcendental?
Transcendental categories.
What is
things that are not material? Causality, teleology.
Show me something that's not material.
I'm talking about things that are not material.
Causality. You're talking about them, but you're not showing them to me. Show me something that's not material.
Does causality exist, Mike?
Regularity does, obviously, but it's not guaranteed. Regularity is not guaranteed. You can't show that to me.
Right. Okay. You need faith in induction.
Yeah.
And regularity in nature. So when you talk about faith, and say point to it, well, go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
Point to it.
I'm pointing to my iPad right now. It's there. I'm touching it. Okay, that's all I need.
You utilize faith in a physicalist worldview. Point to faith.
Faith is just a biological function of my brain. Basically, trust and regularity. We do it all the time. You've been doing it all day. I've been doing it all day. Trust.
Faith.
I'm pointing to my head right now. I'm pointing to
So
the baby.
So your head is identical with trust.
Pretty much.
Okay, so you know that you're in a tight
Well,
spot.
I know that everything I'm feeling in the faith department is an emotion, a deep emotional, rather a feeling. Okay.
Really, when you sit down in a chair
it's a
because
deep
you think
feeling.
it's going to support you again, it's an emotional experience
Yeah.
for you. Really?
It is. It is. It is. When you sit down in a chair and your butt actually hits the chair and you rest in it, you get this little dopamine rush, and yeah, it's just all physics. It's all physics.
Stop BSing, Mike. So when you say you're going to point,
what does that mean? Wait! You're going to get thrown out of here if you say that again.
Stop BSing, Mike.
Goodbye. I told
When
you.
you point to your head and you call that faith or trust, you're saying.
Night, JG.
Night. Okay.
He can't even use his real handle anymore. He's embarrassed himself.
Yeah, I know.
No, the idea of point to faith, point to this, point to that. There are certain words that are abstract in nature. They don't exist.
They do.
No, I don't think they exist. They only exist as definitions in the collective database known as the human brain.
Well, they're gonna exist temporarily in your brain, and they're gonna have a structure that is real enough that you and I can communicate with a word, right? But that's we have to get into naturalism again. There's a thing I did on naturalism this morning, and it's basically true naturalism. And we have this view of the world, right? That's what we think. You don't have a view of the world. You are the view of the world. And we have this tendency to take our mind and believe that it's something separate from the world. But anyway, I'm kind of done for the day, Scott. I do not want to get into that topic, but
okay.
But I mean, you know, these word games that JG plays are just fucking silly. Oh, you're full of shit, and you can't point to this, and you know, you get all these abstract, just metaphysics and all this bullshit. It's just a mealy-mouthed fucking word game is all it is. And they can't tell you what any of it is. What are transcendental categories? It's like, oh, what the hell did he say they were?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make it just, he couldn't tell you. Transcendental is basically you draw a model or a physical system, and then you look outside of that system.
Yeah.
So that you can create another model. Yeah. Right. And then, okay, now you have that system. Well, reach outside of that and create another model, and you got an infinite word game going on. So transcendental categories is just a mealy-mouthed bunch of bullshit as far as I'm concerned. Anyway. Okay. There's not a neuroscience alive when hard pressed will say what consciousness. Yeah, I will say it.
Well, wait, but okay, so let's say there's a neuroscientist that does not think consciousness is a product of the brain. They can't say that or prove that either. It's an ongoing research. And I think there's a lot of data that supports that idea, that belief, but oh well.
Yeah.
Faith in the truth really isn't using reason there, because people who believe that consciousness is this spiritual thing, that it exists outside the brain, in terms of idealism or something like that, they just can't prove it either. They just state it and go on from there.
I don't know who faith and truth is, but causation versus correlation, that's really a cute little nursery rhyme. You know, that'd be really great in kindergarten. But sometimes correlation is the cause. Sometimes correlation is the cause. Some people die, and it turns out they have a tumor. So causation is correlation. There you go. It's most of the time, causation is correlation. We're talking about statistics. It's a cute little nursery rhyme from junior college statistics people.
And in science, you always have to be careful to say they can't blank, because eventually maybe they can.
Yeah.
And maybe they will, maybe they won't. But right now, I believe that consciousness is a product of the physical brain.
Yep. Oh, well, Yeah, I wouldn't even. I wouldn't put it that way, because that's that consciousness actually exists, and it really doesn't. It really is not what's happening. I gotta go, Scott.
All right. Well, have a great evening.
Okay.
Thank you, chat, for your participation.
Yeah, thanks, guys. We just don't want this to go very long, and we've done 45 minutes again. We keep planning to do 10, 20 minutes, and we do 40.
Always get drawn back in.
But anyway, thank you guys in chat, even you, JG, and Faith and Truth. I really appreciate you guys showing up. JG is impossible to talk to. He's just a word salad on steroids.
Yeah, it sounds like he's learning to be aggressive from somebody. I think
he's
listened to all his heroes, and he goes back and tries to emulate them.
Yeah, he's got that whole transcendental bullshit going on. He really thinks it's something, but it's really just junior high philosophy, and it is nobody takes that shit seriously in philosophy, other than this handful of apologists. So. And I don't know why we even give them a microphone.
Spooky. What? Okay.
Spooky. Oh, fuck.
I guess we should have acknowledged the lurkers, but if we acknowledged the lurkers, you wouldn't have shown up. So, Hello, Spooky.
Yeah. Yep. Crisis King. Okay. I'm not going to read the word guide, but I think that's the most boring book I've ever picked up.
Have you got another magic book for me to read? I've already read that one.
Could you rewrite that thing and have it more like, like, I don't know, use a Stephen King style, or maybe Tolkien, or so, I don't know. Do better. Okay.
All right. I'm out of here.
Bakru World.
See
Love
y'all.
you guys. See y'all.